Welcome to the Dairy Church Kitchen. Today we're going to make a crumb cake that I was given many years ago, and it's 100 years old, so I've had it for maybe 30, 40 more years. But it's really a nice recipe. And it was put in this book. This is a Cocoa Castle Cookbook. And when they were building the Cocoa Castle at the plaza, they used this as a fundraiser, along with they sold little fence strips also. So there's a lot of people that we know donated their recipes. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you how to sift flour. Now I use a sifter. You can use a mesh strainer if you'd like. And this is one that you just push like this. I always have to smack it. You'll find some of the older ones. My first one had a little red crank on it. So that's how you do that. But if you don't have one of these, you can use substitute. You never get this wet. Don't ever wash this. It has to stay, even if you have a little flour in there, just get as much out, put it in a plastic bag until the next time. Okay? All right, we're going to mix. Usually when you do your flour, you sift your flour, then you remeasure it. Put a little more in here. Okay. All right. We're going to use 3 cups of flour that's sifted and measured after it's being sifted. We have 2 cups of white sugar, and we put that in with the flour. Now we're going to make like a crumb, like you would for maybe a pie or something. And we're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of butter. Okay. And I like to just kind of hope this isn't too soft to make crumbs. We'll see. But this you can use 2. I'm gonna make crumbs. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Get it to a nice consistency. Then we're going to take out a cup of the crumbs. And this recipe, you have to remember, 100 years ago, they didn't have KitchenAids. So everything was done by hand. And the lady who gave me this recipe told me, do not use anything but a wooden spoon. And now, with food safety, I use bamboo wooden spoons. Some woods will crack. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to take 1 cup out of there, and we're going to set that aside. Okay? Now we're going to use 2 eggs that we're going to beat and add to our mixture. that. Just beat it a little bit, not too much, just to break up the yolk, okay? And again, remember, only a wooden spoon. And this is gonna turn this flour and sugar almost into like a yellow cake mix, actually. Now the batter will be lumpy, and that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be, because we're not gonna beat it or mix it too much. Okay. Next, we're going to add the buttermilk, and that's 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Oh, that's nice. 1.5 cups, and we're going to put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in with the buttermilk. Okay. Get that as level as possible. And we're going to mix that up all together. And I didn't mention, you put it in a 350-degree oven. So we'll turn that on a while also, okay? Now we're gonna put the baking soda and the buttermilk in our flour mixture. And we're just gonna very lightly, not hard. You don't want to do a lot of mixing. See how that foams? It's gonna give the cake a nice raise. We just want to make sure all the liquid is in. See how it's lumpy? But that, it won't be lumpy after it's, you know, while it bakes. That, see, it's a little lumpy. Then we add the vanilla. And that is 1 teaspoon also. Or more. Just lightly. Kind of fold that in. But, you know, if you don't have buttermilk, you can also use regular milk and put some vinegar in it and it will sour. So this recipe, most likely you will have everything in your kitchen, and that really makes it nice. So now what we're gonna do is spray a 13x9 pan. I'm gonna do it over the sink so the floor does not get sticky. Now in the original recipe, they would not be using Pam. They would use butter and then sprinkle some flour in there and do the, put this in here. See how it's all mixed, but it's lumpy. I'm gonna get a spatula so we get all those goodies out of there. Smells good. It must be that buttermilk that smells so good. Get every drop you can get, because this is, you don't want to miss anything. That looks great. And we'll spread that out a little bit so it's nice and flat. Now remember, we have that 1 cup of your crumbs. These crumbs got really nice. They're not real. The crumb cake, you know, it's a nice afternoon snack when you have need your coffee at 3 o'clock, or use it for a brunch.
And Loretta, I have to say, I'm impressed that this is pretty much a one bowl operation here.
It really
for a
is.
cake.
It's not from scratch.
That's right.
It really isn't. Okay, then we're going to put that in the oven. Wipe that off so it doesn't bake on there. And we're going to bake that for 30 to 35 minutes. Okay? Now, I do have one that's been baking, or I baked earlier today, and I think that's very nice. A nice and tan. The crumbs on the top are not overwhelming, and I think it looks pretty good. Sue, would you like to try a piece?
I would love to try a piece.
Okay. Remember, Jesus and germs are everywhere, so wash your hands and say your prayers.